All right, everybody. Today is a special day. Today is the anniversary of a legendary fight. The return of Sugar Ray Leonard after 3 years out of the ring, fighting for the title versus the great Marvin Hagler. Just paying tribute and respect on this anniversary and date. Just want to get your thoughts on the great fight between the marvelous one, Marvin Hagler, and Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, I mean, just a great comeback. Just coming back and fighting Leonard, fighting a guy of the ilk of Hagler. That alone would have been a great thing. But to win it, after being away from the ring for over 3 years, I think it was somewhere in that time zone, time code of 3 years something. And to come back and bang, jump in with, we didn't really have back in those days pound for pound listings, but Hagler would have been, if not on the top of that list, would have been right there. And to come back after 3 years off, and not only 3 years off, but it's one thing to have time off if you're a guy that doesn't depend on reflexes, speed, those kind of neon talents that get greatly diminished by time off, by inactivity. If you're a guy like George Foreman, great man, came back, great, but he depended more on size and power and strength. So it didn't quite erode the most important parts of his game the way that it would have impacted a Sugar Ray Leonard, whose main part of the game was, again, the talents that do get damaged by inactivity. Speed, flash, all of quick twitch stuff. But that goes to show you why Leonard was able to do it. Because we only look at the neon. We get transfixed onto that. And so much that we don't see what else is around it that truly make those guys great. Their will, their determination, their character. And that's what was able to win that fight for Sugar Ray Leonard, which a lot of people didn't think he won. It could have been a draw. I thought Leonard pulled it out. But I tell you, there were a lot of close rounds. There were a lot of rounds where Leonard stole the end of rounds by just coming on strong and leaving the judges with the memory of the last minute rather than the first 2 minutes. But to be able to be in there with a bigger man, a great middleweight, as I said, Hagler was one of the greatest fighters of all time. He was one of the greatest middleweights, one of the greatest southpaws of all time. He had one of the greatest chins of all time. He could punch. He had hand speed. He was technically solid. He could counter. He could box. He could go get you. He could go to the body and the head. I mean, the guy was a destroyer. And I always thought that he wanted to fight too much, that it meant too much to him. It meant so much that he might have overtrained for that fight. And it was later in his career. He never fought again. He just had a tough fight. People forget. He fought John Mugabe, who was knocking freaking houses down. I mean, the guy was an unbelievable puncher. And Hagler took him apart. Who's going to fight John the Beast Mugabe? Nobody. That's the answer. Back then, nobody. Hagler said, yeah, give him. I'll take him. Yeah. I'll take him. And he fights him and he knocks him out. He stops him. And he took shots in that fight. That fight, we don't even know how much that fight took out of Hagler. And I'm not taking anything away from the great Sugar Ray Leonard, one of my favorite fighters of all time, and Hagler, both of them. But you had that going on. And I thought he was such a blue-collar guy. He was just a regular. He wasn't a golden boy, the kid that won the gold medal and got the commercials. He was a guy who, in his mind, I had to earn it the hard way. I had to go and fight people in little towns for no money. Where if you win the gold medal back in those days, you got paid. Yeah, it's just the way it was. Hagler didn't get paid. Hagler had to freaking go out there and toil. He had to go there, go up the dirty streets and with secondhand shoes and get blisters on his feet. He felt like he earned it, and where all his years and everyone he fought and everything he put into it, that Leonard got it given to him in an easier way. Of course, Leonard earned it. But in his mind, in his mindset, Hagler couldn't reconcile that. He just said, this is a guy who had a silver spoon. He didn't really have a silver spoon, but the way it looked to him compared to what he because Hagler didn't even have a spoon. Yeah. So, yeah, I could see it looking that way. So Hagler wanted to beat this guy so bad for all those reasons. Too much. Sometimes, you want something too much. I always felt that was part of it. I loved Hagler. I had a good relationship with him. I loved the way he spoke Italian at the end. And he had that Italian, hey, Teddy, I love you too. I'll never forget that. On ESPN one time, I was talking good about him, saying just the truth. And he goes, I love you too, Teddy. And Marvin, you were the greatest. You really were. But so was Sugar Ray Leonard. So they got together in that fight. And again, I just thought that when it means that much, that you can overdo it. And I always felt that Hagler left something in the gym. I have no proof of it. But I just always felt that at that point in his career, coming off the Mugabe fight, where this fight, like I said, it meant so much to him, even though he had done what he'd done. For the reason I explained, he had to beat this overprivileged guy in his mind that got things given to him that Hagler had to freaking bleed and sweat for. And he never got his due. He felt like, I didn't get my due. So I thought he might have done too much in the gym. And I thought he overthought it. He was one of the greatest southpaws of all time. What does he do? And this ain't a Rocky movie. This is real. What does he do? People forget about that. He goes out the first half of the fight, he fights orthodox. Right? I forget how many rounds. But he fights orthodox. He goes away from what made him great, fighting lefty, and he fights orthodox. I mean, again, I think, if anything, that plays into what I'm saying. That kind of verifies the track I'm on for where it wasn't a normal fight for him. He didn't do normal things that he normally did in his fights. And with all that, it was a great fight. It was a great fight. But, man, Sugar Ray Leonard was great. He showed when he had to. He showed that flash. He showed that speed. But most importantly, he showed that champion quality, that will of a champion. Yeah, when he fought out of that corner that one round, he fought out. He just fought out with the great Marvin Hagler. That wasn't just speed, bringing back from the heavens the speed that seemed to have been lost years ago. Yeah, he brought all that back, but it wasn't just that. It was the quality of a champion, the character, the heart, the code, the belief. The intangible things that you don't get a chance to see unless the moment is such a great moment that it forces it to be seen. That moment was such a great moment that it gave us mortals, to see something that doesn't normally get seen by the immortals. To see that special stuff come to rise right in front of us. Wow. What a night. What a fight. Two great fighters.
Yeah, it's a great tribute, and you got me fired up. I want to go back and watch that fight again now. Unbelievable. And it just makes me think, listening to you, how blessed and lucky I am to have met both of these two legends and great special men and been able to spend some time with them, and how much we miss the great Marvin Hagler. So that was a great job. Great tribute to those guys. Hope the viewers enjoyed it. And leave some comments. Let us know what's your great memories and who did you guys think won that one. It was a tough one. I know it's split out there. Let us know. We hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be back again with more of this next week.